Ba weep grog na weep ninny bong. That was the universal greeting. Anyway, welcome to another Transformers review. I am Moose for the win, and today we are doing Hasbro's Studio Series 86 Voyager Class Wreck-Gar. This is easily one of my favorite characters for personal reasons. He is the leader of the Junkions, a motorcycle gang from space. If you're not already a fan, he is also a huge fan of Weird Al Yankovic, as am I. Shout out to Weird Al if you're listening to this. Thank you for all you do. So we got a nice little space motorcycle mode. Stands up nice on his dual kickstands. He's got a pinwheel of death as his chosen weapon. Very appropriate. I don't know why, but it is. Storage on this thing, though, is less than ideal. I mean, yeah, it's got no friction at all. It is just, yeah. If you're displaying it and you're not touching it at all, then you're fine. But if you want to actually like play with the thing, there's really nowhere else to store it. It doesn't have any like normal ports. This can't go into any of the regular pegs. There is a port for this little peg on what will become his back. If you want to put it there, it's kind of awkward, but it at least is strong enough to hold it. But I wouldn't try riding a motorcycle like that with a pinwheel of death going into my rib cage. Right with the kickstands. Rolls really nice. And it's pretty decent sized motorcycle because these aren't ridden by human sized characters. In the movie, they are ridden by full size Transformers. Most of the time, each other. So here I have a deluxe class Studio Series Perceptor. Let me just demonstrate. The hands do go into the handlebars really well, and it scales pretty decent. Looks like a really decent little toy motorcycle. Here he is. I'm just gonna take him off. Here he is next to Studio Series Jazz. He's a pretty decent sized dude. He's a nice big chunky boy. And then here he is next to the little wheelie accessory you get with Grimlock. You could have Wheelie sit on him. Kind of gives Wheelie a little bit more purpose than just the, statuette. He's a statuette on a motorcycle now. So, nice. And here he is next to Big Daddy Prime. I don't know about you, but if I saw a motorcycle that big coming at me on the highway, yeah, I am pulling over. So to transform this guy, you kick up the kickstands. You detach the feet from what will be his shoulders. And some people have a problem with parts formers, but it is what it is. These are customizable characters in the show, so they kind of left it open for people to customize it a bit, and the wheels themselves come out. They're both identical, so it doesn't matter front or back. They're both going to be the same. It's just one of mine is tighter than the other, so use the first one as a fidget spinner, the other one just kind of... You set all that to the side, set his pinwheel of death to the side. And then the feet, all you do is just straighten them out. They're done. And then you untab the torso from the arms. Bring the arms out. And then down. And bring the arms in, so that way the spikes are facing out. Bring the hands out. And then the head comes out of the main motorcycle part, and the windshield folds downward and collapses in. And then it's just a matter of accordioning, I made up that word, everything flush. Which, now that I think about it, accordion is very appropriate for a Weird Al based character. It's a little tricky though, because, yep, there we go. And then there's little tabs right here that peg into the chest. When you're transforming him, everything's really loose and flaily, but when you peg him into everything, he's pretty solid in both modes. Then I like to take the handlebars, put them down, straighten up the awkwardly placed cannons. And there you have Wreck-Gar. The wheels, you kind of store them on these pegs here. So they're going to be asymmetrical unless you just want to buy a bunch of them and make them like some kind of car, I guess. But store them both on the same side. Give him his pinwheel of death. And there you have Wreck-Gar. I love this guy. He's easily the best looking Wreck-Gar we've had out of the last few years. I don't have any of the other two with me to compare them, but size-wise, he's the biggest. He's nice and chunky. Here he is next to Perceptor again. This is deluxe class. Here he is standing next to Wheelie. Wheelie comes up to barely his knee. And then here he is next to Kingdom Deluxe Class Huffer. He's a pretty tall dude. He's a pretty big, beefy boy. And then I don't know if anyone watched my last video where I did Leader Grimlock, but here he is next to the boy. So for a Voyager class, he's pretty dang tall. He's up there with Cyclonus and Scourge. He's not your average Voyager size. He reminds me of how Voyagers used to be like 10 years ago, and I absolutely love it. There's only two gripes that I have with this figure. First one is probably just a problem with mine, and that is his goatee. Oh, I'm losing my setup here. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, his goatee is kind of pegged wrong. They use a kind of softer plastic than a lot of the other figures. A lot of like the War for Cybertron line, it just feels... It's got this weird like grainy feel to the plastic, and it's a lot lighter. It's not... like weight-wise, it feels just as heavy, but the plastic just feels like it would be like... It's hard to explain. But this is a soft, rubbery plastic, and I think mine just didn't mold into the chin correctly before they glued it in. The other problem I have with this figure is the waist. It's a little bit loose on the swivel, and due to its transformation, it pegs, it falls forward rather easily. So posing him can be a bit of a problem. Otherwise, a fantastic figure. I just love this guy. He's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite figures. The swivel joint, the ratchet joints, not swivel joints, they're so dang strong on this guy. You can pose him any which way you want and he will not fall over. Posability, you got your, what seems to be standard issue heel tilt. I love how the arms have this like effect when they go up. There's no gap in his armpit area. It's really neat. Head kind of moves a little awkwardly because of the goatee and the handlebar Pikachu ears. That's all the higher he can look up, but you can still pose him in a very threatening biker gang barbarian taunt, and I just love it. love it so much. And then you got weapon storage on the back. Yeah, other than the hip moving forward, I can't say anything bad about this figure. He is just great. And that is Studio Series Wreck-Gar.